can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm so fucking bored with having nothing to do day in, day out. I honestly miss getting lectured by Miss Cheerily. At least that gave me something to vent about. Well, so that's it. That's what? I was wondering how long it would take for you to crack and betray your own stances out of sheer boredom. Didn't you yourself say that anything was better than having ideological trash shoved down our throats? Anything but nothing, it seems. A filly can only take so much before she's fed up, even with free time. Call it social conditioning, but I feel fucking worthless with having nothing of value to do for this long. Is this what a jobless career feels like? Jobless career. Well, at least you didn't forget what an oxymoron is. Who y'all calling a moron, bitch? No. I'm not acknowledging this attempt at something you might want to call a joke. Well, then you try and fill this sketch with some funny content. I feel like I'm the only one still trying to be somewhat funny. If by funny you mean either making these terrible wordplays or saying offensive stuff to provoke people. Don't forget her famous catchphrase, Necker. Huh? Tira! Silver Spoon? Since when's your part of the scene? Since the beginning. We've just patiently been waiting for our cue. Didn't you notice them standing right next to us? Is that a serious question, Sweetie Belle? You should know that I never give a damn about anything around me. Only when it's called for. Fine. Then I guess I will be the one who moves this thing forward. Diamond Tiara! Since your last explanation of your whereabouts isn't canon anymore, could you maybe repeat it? In the exact same way, if possible. Oh, so Robotus really did scrap that whole substitute teacher episode. Well, I guess it's for the best. That wasn't one of his best writings. Okay, so concerning my heroin addiction that has been dealt with thanks to Twilight. After she healed me of my desire, as well as all side effects from injection the drugs, I'm basically as good as new. The only real remaining damage was the financial one I inflicted to my family. But luckily that is also resolved by now. We're back to being wealthy again. Seriously? That quickly? How's that possible? Well, my father saw an opportunity with a new naval tow company on the stock market called Laram International. He bought up all its stock, sold everything he owns. Laram International then tripled in just one day. That bold move made him richer than he's ever known. Wow, that was a really smoothly included reference to the Count of Monte Cristo musical. Something I'm sure every viewer has perfectly understood. And judging by the fact that you used a song text to describe the workings of the stock market, it's safe to say that you definitely know what you're talking about. Who cares if I know what I'm talking about? My dad made his fortune back in a single day. That's all I care for. It doesn't have to make sense, as long as it makes money. That's what all them Hollywood directors say when they coming up with new movies. That's why they're milking every franchise drier than the desert. And what about you, Silver Spoon? How are you holding up? Honestly, I don't really want to go through repeating all that again. It's not like anyone even still cares for me now that I lost the only trait that made me special. What else am I now than just an asset to Diamond Ear? Well, I know something you ain't. Just answering the question. You'll have to live with that. I don't see why I should have to repeat myself, only because Robotus went and ruined the last sketch. Alrighty, then don't. Like y'all said, most likely no one actually cares. Apple Bloom, just speaking facts, brah. But Silver Spoon is right about one thing. Why did Robotus have to fuck it up? The idea of having Chrysalis be our substitute teacher in disguise could have worked. Hell, I'm sure that description alone sparked an interest in the viewers to see that. Shame they never will.
What the hell? So here it is. How about you stop fucking claiming the camera all for yourselves? Me and the others also have shit to get done. Who even said this sketch was about you?
I don't know, I just figured that, 'cause you know, the camera started with us.
Well, it ain't staying. You've stretched that intro sequence far too long already. I'm putting a stop to that.
Hey, what the fuck is this? You can't just come stealing our sketch. Like, what is wrong with you?
Okay, y'all, here it is. Turns out the camera was over there with the fillies. Fuck knows why.
Oh, why isn't that great? I suspect you want us to repeat everything we said up until now, so the viewer is up to date.
Nah, fuck them viewers. Y'all were only explaining the exact reasoning behind scrapping that Chrysalis episode. I'm sure nobody wants to waste their time hearing that. Just continue where you left off.
Sure, whatever. Mr. Bus? I find it really weird how we sometimes bring the camera up like these sketches are scripted events, just like our old show used to be. But other times, it seems like things just happen to us. Just don't think too much about it. It's just another one of those countless inconsistencies that are bound to happen with a creator who only thinks as far ahead as the next episode. Anyway, like I said, Chrysalis, it looks like you'll have to find something else to do in order to fit in Ponyville. Teaching a class is clearly something you're not made out to do.
But you have to cut me some slack, Twilight. Those fools were the most intolerant bunch of little assholes I've ever seen.
Well, that's just the youth of Ponyville. Ironically, Miss Cheerily's racism lessons don't seem all too inappropriate, considering most ponies really still despise changelings.
But the problem with Cheerily is that she's a fucking hypocrite. She doesn't care about changelings either. Instead, she goes claiming that her race is the one that's oppressed, as a fucking pony herself.
Well, that's just the hypocrisy of the life. Twilight? Are you all right? I think so. Then why did you suddenly stop talking? You were in the middle of making yet another radical political statement.
Yeah, I was already prepared to call you a Nazi for whatever you were going to say.
I don't know what happened, but I feel like it might have been Robotus doing.
Robotus? But why would he of all people stop you from mouthing his own opinion?
I'm not sure. But it might have something to do with that comment he read yesterday, where someone pointed out that having us discuss real-world political issues seems very out of place, which, honestly, it does.
But inserting political views is the only thing Robotus can do consistently when he's not telling the story. What else should we then fill the gap with? Wasn't there a time when we actually had quirks of our own? Whatever happened to those?
Excuse me. Could we maybe bring this topic back to me? Because my issue isn't any closer to being solved.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry. It's just that it's very unusual for Robotus to actively stop himself from dropping another one of his subjective views.
Is it even his beliefs he's constantly citing, or is he himself nothing but a radicalized mouthpiece anymore?
Kinda hard to say. It's obvious he's more on the right side of the spectrum, but at the same time it is just as obvious that he mostly only jabs the cliches from the internet.
If I'd have to guess his general stance, it's that he has an irrational hatred of anything he would consider woke, but at the same time tries to constantly remind himself that he was brought up to have liberal values, that he still believes in.
Then why does he only attack the left side of politics?
Frankly, because he still is more of a conservative, a right-winger with liberal values, if you will.
Okay, let's just ignore the contradiction in that.
The same way the viewers will hopefully ignore this blatant attempt at justifying himself to them. Like, come on guys, I know I'm a right-winger, but I'm not a bigot. I'm actually more liberal than you think. Huh. Sure thing, Robotus. Sure thing.
How about we all just agree that politics suck and Robotus is a stubborn piece of ass for constantly spitting his shit into these projects?
Agreed.
No,
I can get behind
He
that.
would just shut the fuck up.
But who knows? He did stop himself this time. Vielleicht this marks a change in his demeanor.
That one comment certainly made him reflect.
I doubt it, but we can always dream.
Are you fucking serious? Do I really have to interrupt you again?
Oh, fuck, that's embarrassing. We actually forgot you again. I'm really sorry, Chrysalis, but Robotus felt the need to repair his broken ego and justify his ignorant views. What was it we were talking about?
We were discussing about what else I could do to fit in.
Right. Okay, how about we try to...
Twilight Sparkle.
What the? Celestia?
Oh fuck, shit's getting real now. Chrysalis, take the poles and get them to safety.
What? I ain't going with the
You fucking are. Go!
Okay, Applejack. Come on.
Go ahead, run and hide. There is no escaping from me. Equestria is mine.
To be continued, because fuck you.